Afghanistan after the American withdrawal, a nation at a crossroads. The departure of US and NATO forces from Afghanistan in August 2021 marked the end of the longest war in American history. The sudden collapse of the US-backed Afghan government and the rapid takeover by the Taliban reshaped the nation's political, social, and economic trajectory, leaving a complex legacy of hope, despair, and uncertainty. Over the past decade, Afghanistan has become a focal point of global concern, as its future remains intertwined with the ambitions of domestic actors and the fraught relationships of the international community. The Taliban's return to power. Following the US withdrawal, the Taliban swiftly advanced across the country, seizing key cities and declaring the formation of an Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan in August 2021. The group, which ruled Afghanistan from 1996 to 2001 under a strict interpretation of Sharia law, established a governance structure with a focus on consolidating authority and resisting external interference. While some Afghans welcomed the Taliban's return as a sign of stability after 2 decades of conflict, others feared a regression into repression, particularly for women and minority groups. The Taliban's early rhetoric emphasized inclusivity, but their policies have largely reverted to their hardline past, banning women from education and the workforce in many provinces and restricting basic freedoms. Humanitarian and economic collapse. The humanitarian crisis in Afghanistan has deepened since the Taliban takeover. A combination of drought, conflict, economic mismanagement, and an international aid freeze, imposed in response to the exclusion of women from public life, has left millions on the brink of starvation. According to the United Nations, over 60% of Afghans currently lack regular access to food, and half the population required emergency assistance in 2023. The economy, already fragile under US administration, has crumbled. Hyperinflation, the collapse of the banking system, and the freezing of Afghanistan's foreign assets have devastated livelihoods. Remittances from the Afghan diaspora, a critical economic lifeline, have dwindled amid global retrenchment and security fears. International isolation and fragmented diplomacy. The Taliban have struggled to gain diplomatic recognition, with most countries refusing to acknowledge their administration. Sanctions, primarily targeting individuals and entities linked to human rights abuses, have further strained relations. However, nations like Pakistan, China, and Russia have maintained cautious engagement, driven by regional security interests and economic opportunism. The Taliban's outreach to Gulf states and Iran has been limited by deep-seated sectarian divisions. In 2024, the group of eminent Afghans, a UN-backed initiative, sought to facilitate dialogue between the international community and the Taliban to address the humanitarian crisis. Yet, progress remains stalemated by the group's refusal to uphold human rights commitments, particularly gender equality. The path forward, a nation in waiting. Afghanistan's future hinges on the interplay of domestic and global forces. Internally, the Taliban's ability to govern effectively and address grievances will determine whether unrest grows or stabilizes. Externally, the international community faces a dilemma: re-engaging with the Taliban to avert humanitarian collapse or maintaining pressure to secure democratic reforms. The US and its allies have shifted from direct military involvement to diplomatic and humanitarian support, while China and Russia have signaled openness to increased investment in Afghanistan's mineral-rich regions, albeit with little transparency. Afghanistan remains a cautionary tale of the limits of military intervention and the enduring complexities of state-building in fragile contexts. As the world watches, the nation's fate is a reminder of the human cost of war and the enduring struggle for peace in a nation shaped by centuries of conflict. For Afghans, the road ahead is uncertain, but their resilience and determination to shape their own destiny offer a glimmer of hope amid the darkness.